You wrote an article, 5 Steps to Getting the Browns Back to Winning in 2026, and we've talked about a number of them already. Number one was solve the offensive tackle problem. They still need to add one, maybe even two, maybe even a swing tackle. Your thoughts on the offensive tackle?
Well, I think the best way to get a tackle, particularly a left tackle, is in the draft. I mean, we all know Andrew Berry's first draft, he took Jed Wills with the 10th pick, and he should be in the prime of his career, you know, for another 5, 6 years. But we all know the way that went. He was a right tackle. They tried to convert to left tackle. 3 picks later, Tristan Wirfs, who was a right tackle that the Buccaneers switched to left tackle, has been a 5-time Pro Bowler. And so the guys, a left tackle on their rookie contract is the way to go. So I really think if you can get Monroe Freeling or Spencer Fano or Maui Goa, one of those guys, or even somebody with the second first round pick that you hit on, that's your best answer. But the only other one is in a trade. And the only guy I've heard that would be trade worthy is Walker Little. I think he
Yep.
was a second round pick with Jacksonville. He was replaced when they, found when he was injured, somebody took his place and played really well. So if there's somebody out there that a team is willing to move on from, like Titus Howard was, or like Andrew Berry's done with wide receivers, that is a good way to go. That frees you up going into the draft, getting somebody that you know is ready to play from day one. But the best overall, probably long-term answer is to draft, your future left tackle, because we all know if a guy's available in a trade or in free agency, there's probably something with him. A good case in point, I think Rasheed Walker, the last I looked, he was still available. He's really the best left tackle in free agency, and he'll probably get paid like one of the best in the NFL. And yet, he's probably in the middle of the road as a starting left tackle. So the Browns might go for him, but they'll probably again overspend. I think you're best to address that in the draft coming up. But if he can find somebody in a trade, that would be obviously the best way to go.
All right, the 2 and 3 that you had was add a top wide receiver and what to do at quarterback. They need to find a if you get a top wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy slots into like the second, which is what he's more, I think, what he's more comfortable with and made for.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect maybe the top of the list like Alec Pierce, and we all know that he stayed with the Colts and got a fortune. The last I looked, I think the guy I penciled in free agency would be a guy like Romeo Doubs out of the Packers. Not at the top, but a really solid player. I still think the draft is your best way. I would like to get a veteran. If you could get a guy like Dobbs and you didn't have to break the bank, I don't know his market. But again, I think at the top of the draft, you get a Carnell Tate or Makai Lemon, or even Jordan Tyson. You have them for 5 years at a very reasonable rate compared to what you're going to pay for a free agent. Again, the best thing Andrew Berry has done at wide receiver since he's been here is in the trade market. He got Amari Cooper, had back-to-back 1,000 yards for the Browns for a 5th and 6th round pick. All he had to do was figure out how to pay him. Same way with Jerry Jeudy, figure out how to pay him. To some extent, Elijah Moore, he was on his rookie contract and then they let him go, but they got some production out of him. Probably 3 of the best wide receivers he's brought in have been in trades. So if there's a guy out there, that would be a great way to add, and then you have flexibility in the draft. I still think you need to get one at the top of the draft. I like a guy like a Brian Thomas, with Jacksonville, former first round pick. Andrew Berry talked about him at the NFL Combine. You know, if there's somebody out there, I don't know about an A.J. Brown. Pittman was a guy, but he got traded to the Steelers. Um, so if they can find somebody that can step in, and I agree, Judy would be better in a number 2 role, I think, instead of a number 1 role. I think he's a good player, but you need to add to that room. When we talked to the offensive coordinator, Travis Schweitzer, he only mentioned Judy and he threw in Bond. He didn't mention Cedric Tillman, who was the starter last year. So he only mentioned 2 current wide receivers. And so they really, I think, know they need to add some. And I would add a veteran and draft at least one, not in the 3rd round. I'd like to see one in the 1st round.
I'm with you. So the other ones were what to do at quarterback. We talked about the line, the guard, and the center, and re-sign key defenders. Those are 5 steps to put the Browns back winning ways in 2025.